Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. My name is Ernie Ostic, SVP of Products with Manta Software, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDOIQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Rahul Goyal, Senior Director of Enterprise Data and Analytics at Optum. Hi, Rahul.
Hi, Ernie.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
We both have fake backgrounds, but I hope that the weather and everything is treating you well out in Phoenix.
Oh, sure. I mean, I love the background actually. To be honest, it's a beautiful part of the country, similar to like New Jersey and others, right?
So, yeah, I look at this one and it's got a background of the parts of New Jersey right around New York, which are wonderful, but it's certainly a green and beautiful state too. But it's springtime, so it should be beautiful everywhere, right?
100%. Even if it's hot, it has its own beauty.
Indeed. So looking forward to having this discussion with you. Tell us a little bit more about your role with Optum. How do you explain what you do to people outside of our industry?
Yeah, so like you said, right, I'm a senior director for enterprise data and analytics. It's a fairly large organization under the umbrella of United Health Group, and which kind of shows, the roots of Optum United in a way, being a data-centric organization. So, enterprise data analytics, which is EDA, is 3,000 plus people in the data analytics realm, focusing on not only managing but leveraging data to drive meaningful value and outcomes for our constituents, right? Whether it's customers, whether it's patient providers, whether it's other health systems who work with us. So I think that's at the core of the company. Now, as my role with EDA, I'm hugely focused on a few different areas. But the way I put it is, in my language would be, I help understand how do you leverage data to create the value. And I say that because often a time, people get caught up in different projects, within an analytics organization. But the key to success in any of those is a deep understanding of, the business, the domain, and, what are you trying to end of the day achieve. In another version, when I tell people, I support few different business functions from my hat within EDA. Primarily Optum is one of the big areas, which again is a pretty critical one when we talk about drug pricing and the influence that it has in a lot of conversations over the last few years. And so a big focus is again around how do you provide good customer experience, but also focused on driving members towards better drug cost alternatives, or driving members toward medication adherence, or building out programs that can understand and influence your trajectory of your healthcare in a positive direction. So I'm involved in a lot of those kind of initiatives and work within EDA, with again the core focus around having a strong knowledge on business and driving value for the business.
I imagine it's critical that those 3,000 plus people have a really good understanding of what the value needs to be to Optum and to all of your customers.
100%.
So Optum and United Health are doing a lot to enhance the overall customer experience in healthcare. Can you reflect on how you define what a customer is in that domain?
Yeah. I mean, again, it's if you think about United, it's such a large organization, right? And under United, you have United Healthcare. United Health Group has United Healthcare and Optum, right? healthcare, as most people know, is focused on the payer market, the payer business. Whether it's a commercial market, whether it's our military and vet, whether it's Medicaid or Medicare business. So it's fairly the largest player in that arena, not just in the domestic US market, but also internationally. A lot of people don't know that. So we also operate in markets outside of US. And then Optum, it's a, I would say, large system that supports different aspects of healthcare. It has, you could say, care delivery organizations, which is on one side of the equation, but it also have do a lot of work with, again, I'll give an example of Optomarix, the PBM business, or the pharmacy business, so PBM plus pharmacy business. But on the other side, it has another layer with the entire technology arm of it, where we support and serve a lot of payer organization or health systems as such. So I think the definition of customer varies with each of these business. And this fundamental thing is to look at it, again, from each of these businesses standpoint, or their customer standpoint, whether it's a provider, it's a health system, another payer, a consumer. These are all customers. And how do you basically focus on generating value for them? And that's where a lot of, in my head, when I think about the customer, kind of resonate across, like, who are we working with in that larger spectrum of things.
So does that relate to folks who are watching this who are not in healthcare, and maybe provide some thoughts on how they pick out who their most important customers are? They're all important, but I'm sure people have to set priorities on where to begin.
Oh, I'm sure. And I think you need to understand, in my mind, right, understand the whole value chain of a typical business, and understand which are the important touch points. End of the day, end consumers are obviously, at some form or another, even if you're doing a B2B, you might be touching a B2C member, right? If you're supporting a health system, they in turn might be supporting their members. So of course, that's the long tail of some of the the cycle. But it's important to understand and see how it all plays out, because end of the day, if a business is trying to cater to a consumer or an end customer, and are there ways you can help them improve on their operations, or you can help improve in the product or services that they're offering, which in turn can impact their members, right? Not only in terms of the cost, but in terms of the product or the services they're getting, and at what speed they're getting those products and services. So it's important to understand that whole cycle and see where your customers are in their work, in their journey, how you're supporting them, and how that's going to support their customers in return. So again, if you think about, like, maybe another analogy outside of healthcare, like, let's say talk about retail for a moment, right? A lot of retail businesses have direct consumers, but they also might have other businesses that they might be wholesale doing business with. They might also be having other products or services that might cater to other businesses out of the retail industry, who might be doing work around the data and analytics, or market insight, market research, and stuff like that, that might be consuming information from you. So it all depends on where everybody is and how they could serve their best interest. And I think having that understanding is very, very critical.
So thank you, Rahul. And thanks for joining me today, everyone. Please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews and have a good day. Thank you.